Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhumaketur Ganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasya Dvirada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nigdhanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tamastraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkripatamaham bande paramananda madhavam yam brahma varunendra rudra marutaha stunbanti divyaistavaihi vedai sanka padakramopanishadaihi gayanti yam samagaha ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिज्ञः स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारि मृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद् भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यतेः अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः वासुदेव परा वेदा वासुदेव परा मकाः वासुदेव परा योगा वासुदेव परा क्रियाः वासुदेव परं ज्ञानं वासुदेव परं तपः वासुदेव परो धर्मो वासुदेव परा गतिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Now with Bhagavan's grace, we came up to Slokam number 28, Adhyayam 17, Skandham number 4. Prithu Maharaja is angry. He says, I am going to break you into pieces to the Bhuma Devi, and he gives reasons why. And the main reason is that we basically, putting it in colloquial language, you've been blessed so much. You're enjoying the fruits of sacrifice of everybody else, but you're not giving anything back. That's basically the message. Okay, so that we covered how Maharaja's Prithu Avataram and his teachings, how it applies to each and every one of us. We covered all that. And so the idea is, we saw that when Bhagavan becomes angry or dawns, actually that's exactly the way it is described, he dawns the form of anger, everything shakes. Okay, everything shakes, and you and I are no different. And why this teaching is intended for whoever listens to it, in this case you and me, because The Bhuma Devi, Prithvi has got all the five Panchabhutangal, cross form, isn't it? Now, the other four Bhutangal do not have all the five. Okay? We know we have covered all that, so I don't want to retrace and cover it again. And you and I are made of these Panchabhutangal. Remember, okay? That is why we are part of this, what we call as earth, for Bhumi. We don't say I'm part of the Vayu, I'm part of Akasam, even though that is also true. I mean, that requires a different level of awareness, okay? But at the level of awareness that at least I am, it's basically gross form, made of Panchabhutangal. So the teaching applies to me, okay? Now, I don't want to overemphasize it, but it's a very important point. So please take this instruction as personal, Bhagavan talking to you. The next teaching here is that Bhagavan is angry. Angry means dissatisfied. I've disregarded, disobeyed his command, disobeyed him. And he clearly says where I have disobeyed it. I've taken so much from the society, from the world, from all around. I cannot live alone by myself. Impossible. Everything that I use, I consume, I do, everything has got sacrifices made by others, other beings, other human beings, other jivatma, right? Other out of the 8.4 million types of creation, everything contributes to me. That they sacrifice, sun sacrifices. What do I give back? If I don't give back what I'm supposed to do, then Bhagavan is angry. He's going to chase me wherever I go in the form of what we call as karma. Actually, it is in the form of kalam, time. Bhagavan is Kala Rupan, Kalaya Namaha, Kala Kalaya Namaha. We covered all that. Kala Swarupaya Namaha. So in the form of time, in the form of kalam, Bhagavan chases me till I learn my lesson. Okay, we call that as karma. So it's a personal instruction from Bhagavan, and if I listen to it carefully, I will hear it, how personal it is. Now, am I hearing it properly? Okay, that's a key point. One thing to hear all the Sanskrit words and move on and turn page after page and wait for next comes. But important thing is, every slokam of Bhagavatam is Amrita. Why? Because Vyasa Bhagavan himself says, Nigama kalpataro galitam palam sukhamukat Amrita. Drava samyutam pibata. He says, drink it. This Amritam is what he says. Isn't it? Now, who is he addressing in the slokam? Who is Vyasa Bhagavan addressing? Not every Tom Dickon, not every person. He says, Bhavukaha, Bhuvi Bhavukaha, he says. Bhuvi, on this earth, the Bhavukaha, people who are yearning for the Amritam, who are yearning to embrace the lotus feet, who are yearning for Bhagavan, who cannot take the suffering, the pain of being separated from Bhagavan anymore. Bhavukaha. So to them, come on, drink this, he says, okay, because this is Amritam. Every slokam is Amritam, okay? Now, if I am not drinking it properly, where does the fault lie? Is it with the teacher, the Vyasa Bhagavan, who has given this Bhagavata rasam to us? Absolutely not. Is it because of the subject matter, which is nothing but the stories and glories of Bhagavan? How can be anything be faulty on that? Nothing. So is it the fault of the person who's playing the role of a teacher like me? Probably. Definitely. Is it the deficiency on the part of the people who are playing the role of students? Probably. Okay. So here, when we take a long journey by car, periodically we look at the fuel gauge. Do I have enough petrol? Do I have enough gas? No, either enough gas to go to the next day, next place, whatever it is, we keep checking. Do I have enough gas? to have enough petrol. Like that, in the spiritual journey, Bhagavan commands, he says, regularly check to see how far you have advanced. Advance does not mean a physical advancement. It's a mental purity advancement, right? Now, what is the mental purity? The right mental attitude. The Amritam is there everywhere in this Jagat. But I'm not able to taste it as Amritam because the fault lies in my mind. Isn't it? For this, Bhagavan says the following. I want to cover that before we move on. I just want deliberately stopped here. Bhagavan has been basically putting this card for the past few days. So I'm stopping it. I'm requesting everybody to review, including me, how well am I really prepared to drink this rasam? Am I really drinking it? Am I really receiving it properly? Am I receiving it properly? That's all one has to worry about, not to worry about whether the teacher is teaching it right, the slokam is difficult. None of those things matter. But what is me? Have I got an open mind? I'm receiving it well with humility, with vinayam. Okay, that's the most important. Only with vinayam, the knowledge will sink in. Otherwise, it will bypass. Now, to put this in a perspective that a person like me can understand, Bhagavan explained very beautifully, which I will share with you. The whole thing is nothing but a stage of play that is going on. That's why we call him Ranganatha, right? Rangam. Rangam means a stage, a play. Now, in this play that is going on, everybody has got a role to play. Not one role, several roles. Even during the given day, okay, we play so many roles. The wife, the husband, the father, the child, the friend, the car driver, whatever it may be. So many roles we play. The student, the teacher, right? So many roles we play, not day after day. Now, this play has been written, the cosmic play has been written by Bhagavan. That is why he's Kavim Kavinam, we say in Veda. So that poet has written this beautiful poem, which is your life and my life. Beautiful story it is. I mean, divine story, nothing less than that. So he has written the play. He has also written the dialogues. He is also the director of this cosmic play. And he is also a witness in the audience, sitting there and watching. So what is he watching? He has assigned a role to me. Am I playing that role properly as the director wants me to play? So that's the context in which we are operating. In this context, I have the role for this session, for this half an hour, the role of a teacher. Not that I'm the teacher, no. And the role of a teacher that Bhagavan has assigned. So he is directing me. My job is to play that role as he wants me to play. Okay, and naturally I will improve. Nobody is going to be very good in the role that they give. But Bhagavan is guiding. So he knows, okay, what to remove, what to add, etc., etc., etc. Now, the roles that each one of you is playing, regardless of who you are, whether you're a man or a woman or a wealthy person or not, or a scholar, none of these matters. The role that you have got is the role of a student. Understand? Now, so once that context is understood, there's a couple of more points that I'm prompted to share for my education as well as for your education. Okay. Number one, as part of checking to see if I have enough gas, petrol in the car as I'm on this long journey. This journey goes not only in this life, it is several births. Who knows how many births, isn't it? But the end goal is Bhagavan's lotus feet. There is no doubt about it. No doubt. But how far to go and all those things, Bhagavan will take care. Okay? My job is to play the role. So I have to check to see if I have enough gas. What does it mean? Is my mental attitude right? Have I expanded my heart? Have I reduced my ego? Have I reduced my selfishness? Have I become more loving? Have I, am I embracing Vinayam, humility? Okay, so these are several things come. In this process, Swami defines, classifies human beings, and I promised that I'll share this with you last class, so I'll be doing this now. Human beings into 4 types of human beings. 4 types. Uttaman, Madhyaman, Adhaman, Adha Adhaman. Uttaman, Madhyaman, Adhaman, Adha Adhaman. 4 types. Uttaman, the best among the human beings. What does it mean? He's following the human values. Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. They don't just come just like that. Skills he has developed by doing, by having, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, etc. All those qualities come because he keeps the company of Bhagavan, keeps the company of Satyam and Dharmam, etc. Then he's also, the particular characteristic I'll come to in a minute. Then Madhyaman is not as good as Uttaman. Partly there, sometimes he speaks the truth, sometimes he may lie, whatever it may be as an example. But Madhyaman, somewhere in the middle. Adhaman, one who does cruel things, okay, barbaric things, evil things, okay, harms others. Adha Adhaman is worse than the Adhaman, who not only harms others, he takes particular pleasure and joy when others suffer. His aim is to hurt others, to make life difficult, suffer others. Okay, give you an idea just what these 4 classifications are. Out of these, Uttaman, obviously, Swami himself says, definitely getting closer to the goal of embracing the lotus feet. Okay, Madhyaman, yeah, it's got some ways to go. You can change any time because everything can, in a moment, with Bhagavan's grace, if you apply your mind to it, this is all a mind thing. If your mind is focused on Bhagavan, then you become an Uttaman. If it's focused only partly here and there, probably a Madhyaman. But once you start getting better at thinking of God all the time, automatically you become at that instant. No problem. It's not a question of function of time. It's a function of activity, function of paradigm shift. That's all it is, not a function of time. Then the third Adhaman, of course, when thinks of Bhagavan, when he wants something done, then otherwise he goes about doing all the other things in a selfish manner. Adha Adhaman does not think of Bhagavan at all. In fact, it derides Bhagavan. Out of these, this is what, watch this carefully. This is what Bhagavan himself says. Uttaman is salvageable, definitely moksham. Madhyaman, yes, he's on the pathway, it will happen. As soon as he realizes Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta or Manasa Bhajane Kurucharanam, whatever he thinks of, he does Bhagavan, he starts thinking, practicing Dhyanam, whatever. The mind starts more and more keeping the company of Bhagavan. So naturally, he's also good, no problem. Adhaman, yeah, it will take a little bit of time. He may take a few more births to realize that, he's on the wrong path, and then he will correct himself. That also will happen. Adha Adhaman, Bhagavan says, even God cannot help him. I was shocked when I read this. Just imagine. Okay, that's how bad, how lovely that classification is. Now, why I gave you this classification pertaining to listening to Bhagavatam. If we take one quality, bhuvi bhavukaha, people who are yearning to keep the company of Bhagavan. Intellectually, I may want, but that is not what the heart must yearn. The hridayam must yearn for it. Then only the response will come. For that, my mind is the obstacle. Now, to remove that obstacle, what the elders say is just do one thing. Cultivate vinayam, humility, humbleness, panivu. Okay? But Tyagaraja says, Manasa Sirasa Namami, he says. Okay? Nada Tanuvanisam. Okay? That song, he says beautifully. Manasa Sirasa Namami. With mind, I bend. Very important. Not just the head, also the mind must be very humble. That Vinayam is so important. Now, how does that apply to this class in terms of playing the roles that you and I have? That's the reason I'm sharing this, because I have a role to play, isn't it? Now, how does Vinayam apply? Simple. If I'm working for a company that gives me paycheck, I want to take time off. I'm not coming to work that day. What do? I take my boss's permission. I apply for leave ahead of time. Okay. And sometimes people just say, I'm going to take these 2 weeks off and go. That's one. Another time, people do go to the boss and say, I've got an emergency. I've got this reason, that reason. Please, I need permission. I need approval for vacation. That's an accepted standard practice in our business life. When you go to school, you put your children there in the school. Can you take the child out of school whenever you want? You have to talk to the principal. Get an approval letter. Give the reason. When it comes to spiritual class, for a mere paycheck that is worth nothing, even if we got $1 million, it's really irrelevant. It's really nothing. Okay, in the scheme of things, because you're not going to take any of that money when we go, when we leave the body and go. But there is one thing each one of us are going to take with us, invisible. That is a punyam that we have. Punyam and papam, both we take with us. Please remember that, the merit and the demerits. Okay, that's how the rule is. That's what Bhagavan says the rule is. Okay, I'm just narrating what I've understood from Bhagavan's teachings. Okay, so if that is the case, for a mere sake of money, where I bend and take permission, give reasons sometimes, yes, and to school, if I go for my child's education, I do that. Now, on a spiritual class, especially when it is Bhagavatam, that is Rasamayam itself, available for drinking. Now, how we should play the role as a student? A student must approach the person who plays the role of a teacher ahead of time. I'm going to be absent. This is the reason why what I'm doing is more important than the class. Now, most of you will not like this. Some of you may not like what I'm saying. Please bear with me. But think, reflect. If it makes sense to your heart, take it. Otherwise, reject it. That's perfectly okay. I'm just playing the role as best assigned to me as best as I can with Bhagavan's grace. And he will correct anything that I do wrong. Okay? I'm absolutely confident of it. Okay? If I'm doing something wrong, that will be corrected. Not to worry. Okay? But the thing is, so the informing the teacher ahead of time is number one. But more important, Vidya Vinaya Sampannena, only with Vinayam that knowledge will come. For that Vinayam, I'm going to suggest something which may actually not go well with some of you. I'm not sure. Okay, but please bear with me and excuse me. I don't mean to hurt anyone at all. Is to ask for permission. That is Vinayam. But what is preventing me from doing that? My ego, my ahamkaram. So where is humility? Where is Vinayam? With that mindset, If I check the fuel gauge, how far have I advanced? Right? See what I'm saying? So to go and seek permission is something that may not be palatable in modern days. Okay? Because I'm somebody, we all have that ego. But in the spiritual class, that all these baggages should be kept outside. It doesn't matter whether one is rich or not rich, wealth, I mean, the amount of money people have in the bank, these things don't matter at all. They're zero. Okay? The age doesn't matter. The sex doesn't matter. None of those things matter. What is it? The knowledge that is coming in the session. I must respect that knowledge. The knowledge is bigger than me. And I have the role of a student. I have the role of a teacher. Each one must play that role as best as he or she can. And so when things like this happen, personally, it doesn't at all matter to me as a person whether somebody informs me before they take time off, they're going to be absent, or if somebody asks for permission or not. Okay, that doesn't matter to me personally. But what does matter is every time I see these kind of things happen, I go through tremendous pain. I said, Swami, what is this? They are not doing something right. They're not learning Vinayam. That is not correct. That's not good for them. For me, it doesn't matter at all. So, as a responsibility for playing the role of a teacher, I took so much time to explain this particular aspect of to learn and knowledge, whatever knowledge it can be, okay, it may be, that Vinayam is most important, most important. Without Vinayam, nothing can enter. Nothing can enter. So please consider that. Look at, review the role that you are playing in this half an hour. When I visit with you somewhere in your home or we meet somewhere else, that is different. That's a different role. Okay? But this role in this half an hour session is, I've got the role of a teacher, you have the role of a student. Now, as a role of a teacher, I may be making lots of mistakes. The problem is, the student, in spite of that, has to grasp the knowledge. When the teacher makes a mistake, that Bhagavan will take care. You understand? That's how it works. Okay? And so I hope that matter is clear to you, or you can think about it. And if it appeals to you, you can take it. If it doesn't appeal to your conscience, please leave it, reject it. We can move on. We'll take one slokam for today. The important thing is to check to see if how's my mental attitude. How's my mental attitude? Because what is being given is the supreme knowledge, the Amritam itself, that I've been blessed to attend, blessed to share. Many people don't even hear it. Okay, Bhagavan has chosen me to hear this. That's the way I would approach it. So, Dharo Vacha, we got 8 minutes. I'll take one slokam. Next one, slokam 29. Dharo Vacha, the Bhumi Devi spoke, Bhumi Devi Kurinar, Namaha Parasmai Purushaya Mayaya Vinyasta Nanatanave Gunatmane Namaha Sarupa Anubhavena Nirdhuta Dravya Kriya Karaka Vibhrama Urmaye Vibramor Maye Vibramoho Maye. That is better. Okay, that meaning comes clear. Namaha Parasmai Purushaya Mayaya Vinyasta Nana Tanave Gunatmane Namaha Sarupa Anubhavena Nirdhuta Dravya Kriya Karaka Vibramaha. Okay, Vibramoho Maye. Vibramoho Maye is better. Now, the meaning is, now Dharo Vacha, the Bhumi Devi says, Swami, through Maya, in the Sakti, the Maya Sakti, which is Yoga Maya, Bhagavan Sakti, it is, with that Sakti, varied and variety of forms that you have donned. Bhagavan's form is what you and I and the computer in front of me, everything is Bhagavan's form. So so many forms it has dawned. You dawned, but at the same time, even though you're Nirgunan, okay, but we love him. We relate to him and embrace him as a Sadguna Rupi, full of compassion, full of love, full of karuna, right? And Santam, so many things that we assign to him. Sadgunam, balanced, right? So that Paramapurusha, to you, Namaskaram. But you see, what next one is even very beautiful. Like you created all these varied forms, and in this creation, what is there? There is a matter, and there is an action, and there's an the act itself, the act, the tool for action, and matter. All the things are there. The doer, the things with which you do, and the matter. Okay, the action, the act, or the execution, as we say, and the matter with which you do things. But all these things appear different to us, isn't it? If I have food in front of me, the food appears different from me, right? I'm eating the food. The act of eating appears different from the food and different from me, as an example. So I am eating the food. So automatically, I feel I'm different from the act, eating, and also I feel I'm different from the food. You see, in everything, these three things are there, and they all appear different. But Swami, even though these are all your Maya Swarupam, Maya Sakti Swarupam, but you are not at all affected by any of this. You're the constant, the one that in everything. To you, Namaskaram. Is what first prayer from Bhuma Devi is. It's a beautiful, beautiful prayer that comes, which is what it is in the depths of the heart of you and me. Okay, guarantee you that that's the truth that is being spoken here. Okay, what you feel in the depth of your heart, what I feel in the depth of my heart, you can relate to this very easily. So, Maya, by the Maya Sakti, Vinyasta means expanding or created. Nana, very many, Tanave, embodiments, forms through the Maya Sakti, creating the various forms, varieties of forms. Number one, Guna Atmane, Gunatmane, the form of the Sattva Gunam. Actually, Guna Atmane doesn't say Sattva Gunam, so it's all the Gunas, Sattvam, Rajas, and Tamas. All three are really forms of Bhagavan only. Okay, same Bhagavan is there. That all these embodiments that you have dawned through Maya Sakti, that Paramapurushan, that you, to you, Namaskaram, Guna Atmane Parasmai Purushaya Namaha. That Paramapurushan here, Unakku Namaskaram, to that Paramapurushan that you are, Namaskaram to you. Sarupa Anubhavena. Okay. Now, but what are you really? What is your real Sarupam? The embodiment of love. I mean, that again, what is a form of love? You see, Bhagavan's Swarupam is Satchit Anandam. Okay, Satyam Sivam Sundaram. So these are all words we use, but it is Amedi, it is Anandam, it is Anbu, Soyanalamattra Anbu. There is no form to it, but that's what it is. That is Rupa Anubhavena. When from that, Anubhavena means it's not an experience, it is Sat, it is the entity that is present. But what is that entity that is present in all these various forms that is happening like this? That is Nirdhuta, Dravya, Kriya, Karaka, Dravya, matter, Porul, Kriya, Sayal, action, Karaka, the tool used for action, which is you and me, the human beings, okay? So, for all these are Vibhrama, Vibramor Baye, we take it together. Differences are there. But from all these differences, Nirdhuta, being apart from it, being separated from him, being unattached from the differences of matter, of act, and the doer. Okay, but you are like that. That Paramapurusha, Parasmai Purushaya, that you are. Namaha to you, Namaskaram. Dharovacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Mayaya Vinyasta Nana Tanave Gunatmane Namasvarupānubhavena Nirdhuta Dravya Kriya Karaka Vibhramormaye. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.